And here we go. So here we go again. So it's been a moment since we last visited the Rufai Oseni space. So why don't we visit it again? All eyes on the judiciary. Here we go again. So here we go again, all eyes on the judiciary. So all eyes on the judiciary. So we're visiting that Rufai Oseni space again. It's been a moment since we last visited the goings on with that wayward guy. So all eyes on the judiciary as we visit Rufai Oseni, who is keeping his beady eyes on the judiciary. So let's together react to this clip. So let's pick it up from here.
We have to, because of our time.
Okay.
Following on from lessons learned, is options available? Because both petitioners, at least the main petitioners, the PDP and the Labour Party, have said that they were going to take this further by going to the Supreme Court. And this question is for both Mr. Onopasa and Mr. Ezike. But I'll start with you, Mr. Ezike, because you said that in your opinion, the judges have failed in this regard. Is there any hope going to the Supreme Court? And I'll ask Mr. Onopasa as well.
I don't see any hope, but it will be a pleasant.
Okay, let me just pause it there for a moment. So I have watched this clip before, by the way. I watched it earlier, so we're not reviewing it both at the same time. But the truest thing that this guy will say in the course of this interaction is there is no hope in going to the Supreme Court. There is no hope in going to the Supreme Court, because the judgment of the appellate court was so thorough and detailed that is a near impossibility to overturn it. They went through every detail of every single petition that was levied, applied the law, and struck it out. So it's near impossible for the Supreme Court to overturn the verdict of the appellate court. So that's the truest word that you hear from this character. But let's listen on.
A miracle if there's change, because the judges who are in the Supreme Court, most of them are not the putters. They are not the Justice Shaws.
All right, let me pause it there for a moment. So this guy is already impinging on the integrity of the judges that sat on the appellate court. He said the Supreme Court, but that, of course, is the appeal court. It's the court of first instance at the presidential appeal level. So when you say the court of first instance, that's the first court you go to. So traditionally, normally, the court of first instance would be a high court or thereabout. But because of the seniority of this legal suit and its importance to national cohesion and national well-being, the court of first instance is the appeal court. So it's not the Supreme Court, as this guy said, but he's now starting to impinge on the integrity of the people, of the judges, the justices, because at that level, they actually call them justices. He's now starting to impinge on the integrity of the justices that sat on that court, and he's telling us that they're not of the pedigree of Justice Oputa, who is Charlie Boy's father, by the way. Look at just that chasm. The genes did not cross over. Justice Oputa, one of the celebrated names within the Nigerian space, Charlie Boy got a name. So maybe some paternity test is needed there, but that's an aside. He's impinging on the integrity of the justices that sat on that appeal court panel for the presidential tribunal. He's impinging on their integrity, and Rufai Oseni is backing him up because he said Justice Oputa And then Rufai Oseni, he lended him another name like Justice Esho. So I want you to note that. I'll scroll back just a microsecond just so you can hear Rufai Oseni insert the name Justice Esho into that space. Let's listen on, but I'll scroll it back just a tad.
They will put us, they are not the Justice Eshos. You look at the thing and interpret it.
So you had Rufai right there, lend him the name Esho, which he then went on to repeat. So hold that.
Properly. Like I said, the thing to do is...
Again, you are impugning the integrity of this.
So there is now Reuben Abati calling him to order, calling that now trying to disparage the justices of the Supreme Court, of the Appeal Court rather. That's a Freudian slip picked up. But trying to impinge on the integrity of the justices that sat on the Appeal Court. So Abati now trying to pull him back on that and call him to order. So let's listen on.
You are impugning the integrity of the Supreme Court as presently composed.
Yes, I am. I know the risk I'm taking, but it is more important that we are safe and free in the country than for me to flatter them. And for your information, I have one or two of them that I call my friends. Yes, but the question is the level of jurisprudence. I say the problem here is a lot of bean counting. You start counting beans.
So the problem here is the level of jurisprudence. The problem is a lot of beans counting. They start counting beans. So the guy, rather than take the direction of Reuben Abati, he continues to disparage the justices at the Supreme Court. Note that again, because that will come into play in the latter half of this clip. So note that again.
No. What is the jurisprudence of it? Like in the United States, it is not the people who elect the president, it is the Electoral College they have in the various states. Has anybody complained about it and said that, why should the Electoral College, a few people in the various states, but when the votes are cast, the Electoral College keeps quiet as it is. But if there's a problem, in Nigeria, the Electoral College will interfere every time as it is. So when you make provision and say that Abuja is like that, you won't say it is wrong. It is there. If you don't want it anymore, you change the law. Now, the future with regard to this election will actually determine the future of Nigeria, because this is the first time.
Right, the future of this of this election will determine the future of Nigeria. Yes, that as a standalone statement is a truism, because of course the future of the election will determine the future of Nigeria, because of course Nigeria has elected a new governance, and how that governance performs or not will determine the future of the country. So that's a truism as a standalone statement. But the inferred meaning that this element is trying to confer on that meaning is to state that if the legal system does not declare Peter Obi as president, then the legal system is not fit for purpose. So he says that, and he goes unchallenged, but we carry on.
I noticed that young people were enthused in politics. This is after the toll gate thing. And if anybody doesn't understand history, then, the judges, then I think I would recuse myself if I'm a judge. If you understand history, you know where these things are.
If anybody does not understand history, by that I mean the judges, then I will recuse myself, because if they understand history, so he continues to impugn and disparage the justices that sat on that tribunal, and he continues to do that unchallenged. Note that again, because that will come into play in the latter half of this clip.
Are going, and that your name will be there when the history is made. the history of this country, its survival or otherwise, may depend on this election.
All right. I'd like to go to Mr. Nopasa now. Thank you, Mr. Ezekiel.
All right. So I want you to keep on record and file to one side all of the things that that character just said to disparage the legal system, the judiciary, the justices that sat on that appeal court. He went chapter and verse in just rubbishing their names. So he did that, and he did that unchallenged. So he did that, and he did that unchallenged. So now, this lady now is now going to invite a different guest to present a contrary view. So now let's now see how that plays out.
Okay, Mr. Nopasa, please, your take on this. Going to the Supreme Court, PDP, Labour Party.
That is their option. If they want to, they can go. I would just want to react to something that my learned senior said. About the Supreme Court. It is not his place to impugn the integrity of the Supreme Court. He is not a Supreme Court judge. If he was that so great a lawyer, maybe he would be a Supreme Court judge.
And after that statement, the whole of the session implodes. So before we play it on, I want you to bring back the memories of all that other guest said to impugn and to disparage the integrity of the justices that sat on that appeal, on that presidential petition case. So I want you to bring back the memories of that as you listen on now. So that previous guest, he said all that he said largely unchallenged, except for just a little vignette by Reuben Abati to caution that he might be impugning on the integrity of the Supreme Court justices. So he said that all largely unchallenged. So now this guy now challenging his audacity to impugn on the integrity of the justices. That's all he said. Now see what happens next.
It is highly unfair of him to impugn the integrity of their lordships. Secondly, he made a comment about public opinion that the court should follow.
Mr. Nopasa.
And there he comes, the empty head from the creeks, Rufai Oseni. Here he comes doing, you're about to get the fullness of Rufai Oseni's monkey boy routine. So you're going to get the fullness of Rufai Oseni's monkey boy routine. Lean back and enjoy.
You shouldn't.
I'm not doing that. I'm reacting to what he said, please.
I think you should take that back. You shouldn't have attacked him personally. That if he was so great a lawyer, he would be on the Supreme Court. You can't do that to a fellow guest.
You shouldn't have attacked him personally. To that, if he was that great a lawyer, he would be on the Supreme Court. You cannot do that to a fellow guest. Radio silence when the other guest, of course, was lambasting and lampooning the Supreme Court justices. But Monkey Boy Rufai Oseni, anything that goes against this obedient DNA, here he is, all claws out, doing his Monkey Boy routine.
You cannot do that. Mr. Nopasa, take that back. Take that back with due respect. Take that back.
I will not, please.
You can't do that to a fellow guest.
Look at this guy with the man boobs trying to talk tough. Where's that picture again? Let me look for that picture of this guy with the man boobs. Let's just go on Google. Rufai Oseni with man boobs. This is the guy with the man boobs, trying to talk tough and show machismo. Let me see. Let me bring it up. So this is the guy trying to talk tough, with breasts bigger than your wife's and mine, trying to show machismo. That's Rufai Oseni, trying to Batman his man boobs. This is the guy trying to talk tough. But let's get back to it.
He said that the justices, will you hear me out, young man? He said the justices of the Supreme Court
take that
are not like the likes.
Mr. Nopasa,
My God. Oh God.
Mr. Nokpasa,
Look at the exasperation in the voice of the guest. My God, oh God. You know, my God. Do you even need more than that? I cannot really describe anything more. Oh my God, oh God. And so say all of us.
take that back.
I am a lawyer. I will not stand any lawyer insulting the justices of the Supreme Court. Please, I won't. You are not a lawyer, young man. I said I will not take it back. You will not impugn the integrity of the Supreme Court bench in front of me. I mean, how dare you? That is our Supreme Court.
So this silly little boy with the man boobs thinks he can roughshod over somebody because he sits in the studio and they tell him that he's a presenter. He's not a trained journalist, by the way. I think we all know that. Rufai Oseni. I think he read a Greek or something in some space, but he's certainly not a trained journalist. But because they've put him in a tie and a suit, and they've told him he's a presenter, and he thinks he can now ride roughshod over senior minds like this kind of a gentleman on the screen. Very quickly, of course, the man slaps him down.
With all due respect, you have no right, Mr. Nokpasa, to come out here and castigate a fellow guest saying, hang on a minute.
He has a right to insult the Supreme Court bench.
Hang on a minute. Nobody has said he has a right to impugn. When he said it, Dr. Abati replied him, but you have no right to tell a guest, our guest here, that if he was so great a lawyer, he will be sitting on the Supreme Court. Now you are attacking him and attacking his character. And that's what we're saying you're taking back.
He has a right to compare our Supreme Court justices with who?
I mean, you choose to hear what you want to hear anyway.
That they are not what?
Nobody has supported him for impugning the Supreme Court. I told you, if you heard me properly, that Dr. Abati had a clawback and said, no, you are impugning the character of the court. We don't support that, but you have no right to also berate his personality. Okay, wrap up and let's go. Wrap up and let's go quickly.
Can we settle this?
Just wrap up and let's go, please.
Beautiful. Now,
wrap up and let's go. Wrap up and let's go. Because they cannot overrun the guy, of course, because the guy is senior to him in mental acuity, intellect, and education. So because he cannot overrun the guy, he now brings out his badge as a staff of Arise TV and tells him that he's going to shut him down. So there he is, Monkey Boy Rufai Oseni.
According to Mr. Ezike, he says that the court might decide a case according to public opinion. Well, the public opinion is actually even on Tinubu's side. Because according to the umpire INEC, he got the highest number of votes cast. It is not on Peter Obi's side. So I don't know what public opinion Mr. Ezike is talking about.
Okay, is that...
Okay. Okay, so there it is right there. The public flogging of Rufai Oseni, the clown that purports to be a journalist. But you get 2 for the price of 1 on this particular stream. You get 2 for the price of 1 as we listen to, yet again, to a different space, but the only difference is the space. But of course, Rufai Oseni showing us how much of a clown he is. In this instance, Reuben Abati could not bear it anymore, and he had to cage the monkey boy. So let's watch now this clip of Reuben Abati caging the monkey boy.
Out there when no other media house were willing to go on the streets. You, Tokubo Yetuji, and Ozioma Akoli were the champions that went out on the street, rolled the cameras, kept on telling the story. You are patrons.
Other media houses were also on the street. Let's not.
So other media houses were also out there. Let's not tell lies, is what Reuben Abati cautions Monkey Boy Rufai Oseni. So other media houses were also out there. Let's not tell lies, is what Reuben Abati cautions Monkey Boy Rufai Oseni. but then that is not the first time that Monkey Boy Rufai Oseni has used now this disparaged platform called Arise TV to spread propaganda and lies. You all recall, of course, that Reno Omokri is chasing him all over the Nigerian space to take ownership and correct the lies that he told about Reno Omokri not going to Chicago State University to verify Tinubu's credentials. And this Monkey Boy Rufai Oseni, he on this same platform told everybody, and Reno Omokri has clipped that and he posts it daily on his social media spaces. This Monkey Boy Rufai Oseni told everybody that Chicago State University, and I'm quoting just not verbatim, but from memory, but loosely, that Chicago State University has dissociated any association from Bola Tinubu, which is a 360-degree lie from the position of Rufai of Chicago State University. So here he is again telling an outright lie, and Ruben Abati, he cannot lend his integrity to the lie that Rufai Oseni is telling. So he cannot bear it anymore, and he calls the monkey boy to caution. Let's listen on.
Cameras kept on telling the story. You are patrons.
Other media houses were also on the street. Let's not exaggerate it. But if Tokunbo Yetunji is around the premises, can the producer produce him so that we can even see him?
But no other media house was on the street that day
it wasn't only Arise News that reported.
It was only Arise News that was showing that in live.
No, it wasn't only Arise.
Only Arise News.
Other stations did too. Let's be moderate. We'll take.
Other stations did too. Let's be moderate. Abati, he will not learn this. He is a PhD, a senior politician who has acted as a spokesperson at the presidential level. So that's Ruben Abati. And he's not going to lend his integrity to the excesses of an empty-headed monkey boy.
Take a short break now. And when we return, we shall be talking
out there.
So there it is, and there it is. So all eyes on the judiciary. Where's that banner? So all eyes on the judiciary. Monkey boy Rufai Oseni strikes again. All eyes on the judiciary. So I'll leave it there. Carry the conversation on within the comment section. But here, I say, peace.